visiting with Krupa. She is a speech therapist with Memorial Rehabilitation here in Hollywood, Florida. How are you doing today, Krupa?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking, and thank you for having me here today.
The AAC crew and I have a couple of questions for you. Is that okay with you?
Absolutely. Fire away.
Can you tell us why you decided to become a speech therapist?
Great question. Communication is super duper important to me. So I realized within this career, I was able to help a variety of individuals from all sorts of backgrounds communicate with their loved ones. And of course, my father is a physical therapist, so rehab for me runs in the family.
Where did you study to become a speech therapist?
I got my bachelor's degree at the University of Florida, and I got my master's degree from Nova Southeastern University here in South Florida. Go Sharks!
When did you become interested in working with AAC?
That's a great question, Lovey. I first became interested in AAC evaluations and treatments when I was in graduate school, and I was a part of the evaluation team there under my professor, and I became really, really interested in this whole field, working with individuals like Dr. Parker and Dr. Zangari. So really it started for me in graduate school. I got bit by the AAC bug.
What do you enjoy about working with AAC?
I enjoy the challenge. What I've recognized with all of the evaluations and treatments that I've done is that AAC is a very multifaceted and challenging tool sometimes to implement and identify the need for. So really, I think it all comes down to being challenged myself professionally and challenging my patients and their caregivers to find a tool to help people communicate functionally.
What type of devices are you familiar with?
Great question. There's so many devices out there in the field now, with technology changing and moving the way that it is. So honestly, I'm familiar with a lot of the things that are out there in the market, including the Tobii Dynavox devices, the ones from PRC and Saltillo, the one that you have right now, the WinSlate. There's several devices, hardware-wise, and there's even more programs, software-wise, that I'm familiar with. And as things change, we have to keep up with the technology and keep educating ourselves on what's out there.
I know people can lose their ability to speak due to an illness or brain injury. Do you also work with people with autism? And what are the different challenges you face working with this population?
That is such an insightful thing to say. AAC can be implemented from the pediatric side when I'm working with children, or the adult side for individuals like yourself. So I work with a wide range of individuals, and I have a lot of experience working with children with autism. Absolutely.
What do you find are the greatest challenges facing an AAC user?
Finding the right fit. Because every device and every piece of software out there isn't necessarily the best one. There's no one size fits all. So making sure that you're taking into account for what the individual needs, what's convenient and well for that family to utilize, making sure that adequate training is provided for the family. It's not just about the AAC user or the AAC system, but the whole entire group of individuals communicating together.
What are the challenges you as a therapist face working with someone using a communication device?
Sometimes that people think that using an AAC system will prevent an individual from communicating. I think that is a really big misunderstanding that's out there in our field, when as we know that the research and over time that the more people use AAC, the more likely they are to want to communicate, because then they're having successes with conveying their thoughts and ideas. So that's a big challenge, I think. And of course, educating the family.
What do you think can be done to even further improve communication for AAC users?
I think the advancing of technology will help a lot of people. Finding different methods of access, like how you are using your hands and your fingers to touch and manipulate the screen. We have advances with eye gaze systems. So honestly, the future is so bright for AAC users and the people they communicate with. These are great questions.
What would you like to tell people about communicating with an individual using an AAC device?
Wait. My biggest piece of advice with someone communicating with an AAC user is to wait. Give the person enough time to respond and pause, because everyone has something to say. We need to be cognizant and aware of our ability to listen.
Thanks, Krupa, for being on my channel. I just have one more question.
Sure.
What do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. It was a pleasure interviewing you. Also, thank you AAC crew for tuning in. I really appreciate it so much. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you next time, AAC crew.
That was a good one, Lovey.